What if the things you throw away weren't waste at all? What if they just needed a second chance? In this video, I'll show you how simple scraps and forgotten items can become beautiful, useful decor right at home. Welcome to Arkan Aesthetic Studio, where we turn everyday materials into meaningful creations. This episode is all about recycled decor ideas. And yes, timestamps are in the description if you want to skip around. If there's something you'd like a tutorial for, just drop a comment. I'll share DIY guides on the community tab. You might not know me yet, but behind every post is a real story and a small family with big hopes. Your subscribe isn't just a number, it's a lifeline. It keeps this dream breathing. Thank you for being here and for seeing value in small things. One, wall and facade decor. In a quiet corner of a backyard, where the shadows of trees stretch long and soft, something magical catches the eye, not because it's perfect, but because it's made from what most would leave behind. Old CDS and plastic lids, once forgotten in drawers and trash bins, now shimmer on a plain white wall in a dance of color and sunlight. It doesn't need to be expensive to be extraordinary. Sometimes, it just takes patience, a glue gun, and a little curiosity. The result? A rainbow mural that doesn't ask for attention, yet gently steals it. Just across the garden path, a wooden pallet rests proudly against an old brick wall. Rusted garden tools hang like vintage relics, and small pots, some dented, others painted, host tiny green lives. Plastic bottle caps become little bursts of color, like confetti left behind after a celebration. The whole scene feels like a slow afternoon in early spring. Honest, unhurried, alive. And then, there's the ceramic wall, mosaics born from brokenness. Shattered plates, chipped cups, and misfit saucers, all gathered and pieced together again. Flowers bloom from fragments. Geometry flows from chaos. Every crack holds a story. Every tile reflects the hand that placed it, not with perfection, but with intention. I'm not a professional designer, and I don't pretend to be. What I'm sharing here are ideas, simple, soulful, and doable. Things that you can try with your own two hands and a little heart. No rules, just inspiration. You don't need a blueprint or a big budget. Just look around. Your next art piece might already be in your recycling bin. Let these walls remind you that beauty isn't bought. It's built, not with what's new, but with what still has life to give. Two, window and door makeover. There's a kind of poetry that lives in silence. The quiet creak of a door in golden hour light. The soft clink of old metal catching the breeze. On a humble front door, a wind chime sways gently. Made from spoons that once stirred morning coffee, keys that no longer fit any lock, and a lone bottle cap painted blue. Suspended from a weathered piece of driftwood, each element is worn, but not tired. They sing, not just in sound, but in soul. The sun glances across them like memory across time, casting long shadows that shift like soft music. And just inside, down a hallway filled with footsteps and familiar laughter, a window frame now holds snapshots of life, moments frozen in print, strung together by twine and tiny clothespins. It was once just a discarded frame. Now, it cradles smiles, embraces, reunions. Its paint is chipped, its edges worn, but the stories it holds are vibrant and whole. None of this requires special tools or rare materials. These are fragments anyone might have, found in drawers, rescued from trash, passed down from forgotten corners. I'm simply sharing ideas I believe in, projects that feel approachable, ideas that belong to all of us, not just crafters or designers. You could make these too, with your own touch, your own history. This isn't about perfection. It's about presence. The kind of handmade presence that turns a house into a home. If you listen closely, these recycled pieces have stories to tell. And maybe, just maybe, they're waiting to help you tell yours. Three, furniture from recycled items. There's a quiet kind of satisfaction in sitting on something you built with your own hands. No screws from catalogs. No manuals written in 5 languages. Just weight, wood, and will. On a sun-drenched patio, an outdoor bench rests humbly against a textured wall. The seat and back are made from thick, weathered planks, the legs from old cement blocks. It's nothing fancy. No shine, no polish. But that's the point. It welcomes you as you are. Soil on your shoes, coffee in hand, geraniums blooming to the side. This is a seat made for living, not just for looking. Inside, the warmth continues. A set of wooden crates, stacked, shifted, and placed with care, now hold colorful books, small toys, and stories yet to be read. Some boxes tilt ever so slightly, their surfaces marked by time, by use. You don't need to be a builder to do this. Truly, this is the kind of project anyone can create with a little patience and the courage to begin. You don't need perfection. You just need presence. And then, near the window, a low coffee table rolls gently on 4 caster wheels. It's made from an old shipping crate, the kind you might have seen in a warehouse or forgotten in a garage. On its surface, a ceramic mug, a stack of well-thumbed books. Morning light pours in, touching each grain of wood, highlighting the rough edges and stamped letters once used for shipping. Now, it anchors a room with warmth and quiet strength. Please know, I'm not telling you what to build or how to style your home. I'm simply offering these as seeds of inspiration. Ideas that are entirely possible to try on your own, with materials you likely already have or can find secondhand. No fancy tools, no big budget. It's amazing how much beauty still lives in what we nearly throw away. Sometimes, all it needs is a second purpose and a second chance. Four, lighting and lamp designs. Light has a way of finding us, especially in the corners we tend to overlook. Not just the kind that fills a room, but the kind we create from scraps, from stillness, from intention. A rusted funnel hangs from a coarse rope, once part of a garage or a forgotten workshop. Now, it glows gently over a table, casting a soft pool of amber light. Its shape is sharp, but the warmth is undeniable. It doesn't try to look like something it's not, and that's what makes it beautiful. It proves that even the most utilitarian objects can soften a space when given new purpose. On a nightstand, a wine bottle quietly holds light inside its glass. Tiny bulbs dance like fireflies, tangled just enough to feel spontaneous. Topped with a linen shade, it becomes more than a lamp, it's a memory holder. Perhaps of a dinner, a celebration, a night worth remembering. Here, imperfections aren't mistakes. They're invitations to pause and notice. And then there's the study desk. Books piled beside a metallic reading lamp that leans forward like a curious friend. The space is honest, pens scattered, paper half open, the work of a real life in progress. The light here isn't just functional. It creates focus, presence, calm. What I'm sharing here isn't a tutorial. It's a glimpse of what's possible, something you can take and shape into your own version. These are not flawless pieces from a catalog. They are stories told in metal, glass, and glow. You don't need much to make something that matters. A bulb, a bottle, a bit of bravery, and maybe, just maybe, a moment to say, I made this light, and in making it, I lit something within myself too. Five, planters and vertical gardens. Sometimes, the most joyful things grow not from grand gestures, but from quiet ideas and humble containers. On a sunny clothesline stretched across a backyard, old tin cans, once dull and forgotten, now dance in color. Painted pink, blue, yellow, green. Each can cradles a tiny burst of life. Pansies and violas nodding gently in the breeze. Hung with wooden clothespins, they bring laughter to the garden like children's songs. The paint is imperfect, a little chipped, a little rust, but none of that matters when the light hits them just right. Not far away, a wooden fence becomes a wall of life. A soft black fabric organizer, repurposed with simple intent, holds rows of leafy greens. Some still sprouting, others ready to pick. The soil is damp. The air is earthy. It's not just a vertical garden. It's a quiet proof that you don't need space, only purpose. For anyone watching this, please know, this isn't a product I'm trying to sell or a complex DIY with 10 tools. This is just an idea. One that can be done with what you have, or what others throw away. Then, on a balcony kissed by morning light, a palette is reborn. Once used to move things from place to place, now it stays still and gives life. Plastic bottles, cut neatly and fastened in rows, cradle herbs and blooms. The shadow of railings fall across the wall like soft lines in a sketchbook. It's quiet. It's doable. It's beautiful. You don't need a greenhouse to grow green. You need attention, a little patience, maybe even just one can of paint and an old bottle. Let these images be a beginning, not instructions, but invitations. If you feel inspired to try, that's more than enough. Six, textile and soft decor. There's a kind of gentleness in things made from old fabric, something soft, not only to the touch, but to the heart. Take a look at this curtain. It doesn't follow a design catalog or color theory. It's simply strips of fabric, some floral, some faded, tied together one by one, letting the daylight slip between them like whispers. They dance slightly in the breeze, casting soft shadows on the kitchen floor. Maybe they once were pillowcases or dresses. Maybe someone's favorite scarf. What matters now is that they're still part of the home, still letting light in. By the bedside, the morning sun stretches across a rug, thick, braided, imperfect. Made from old clothes, maybe a child's pajamas or sheets from years ago. You can almost feel the stories beneath your feet, the twist of each strip, the quiet patience it took to braid it. It's not about getting it right. It's about continuing. And in case you're wondering, no, You don't need to be a crafter or artist to make something like this. These are just ideas, real, replicable, and sincere. Then, on a familiar armchair, sits a cushion stitched from flannel shirts and t-shirts. The fabrics are mismatched, yet they belong together. It doesn't look mass-produced. It looks loved. The kind of item that invites you to sink into it with a cup of tea and stay a while. I'm not presenting this as a tutorial. This isn't an expert's guide. It's a reminder that comfort can be handmade, that decoration can carry memory, and that you, too, can create something beautiful, not despite the imperfections, but because of them. Sometimes, the softest parts of a home are the ones sewn quietly, with scraps and stories and care. Seven, storage and organization. There's a certain calm that settles in a space when everything has its place, not because it was bought, but because it was made with intention. In the corner of a humble kitchen, wooden fruit crates, each worn from years of transport, are now stacked to form open shelving. You can still read the faded ink where the names of old suppliers once stood. Inside them, rows of canned goods, a few cookbooks, and glass jars share space without pretense. Dust gathers in corners, not from neglect, but from use. This isn't a display, it's a real pantry. Useful, familiar, honest. On a hallway wall, two shutter panels hang like the remnants of a window long gone. Their paint is chipped, the slats uneven, but clothespins now clip onto them. Keys, envelopes, grocery lists. It holds the kind of chaos every home has, but arranges it in a way that feels gentle, even intentional. And no, this idea didn't come from a catalog. I'm only here to offer something you can shape to fit your own rhythm. And then, there's the desk. A box that once held something forgettable now cradles pens and scissors. The compartments are cut from leftover PVC pipe, each one slightly different in height and angle. The desk isn't staged. Papers are scattered. Tape rests half-used. Sunlight pools quietly across the wood. It feels lived in. It feels real. You don't need to buy order. You can build it, slowly, from the things already around you. These aren't professional designs. They're personal ones. Made not to impress, but to serve. And maybe, in their simple presence, they'll inspire you too. Eight, kids DIY and recycled toys. In a quiet corner of a playroom, where the sunlight filters in gently through a half-drawn curtain, imagination is stitched into every scrap and scuff. This is not a studio set or a Pinterest-perfect shelf. It's a real space, shaped by tiny hands and limitless curiosity. The first scene invites us to a puppet show not bound by theater walls. Here, a humble cardboard box transforms into a charming stage, boldly painted with messy strokes only a child's freedom could create. The curtains, simple kitchen cloth offcuts, part to reveal characters crafted for laughter, learning, and make-believe. It's not perfect, but that's the point. It's real, raw, wonderful. If you're wondering how to bring joy like this into your home, just remember, this is a creative idea meant to inspire, not a blueprint. You can adapt, change, simplify, whatever suits your space and child. Next, we look down on a tabletop filled with bottle caps, but not the discarded kind you might overlook. Each cap is now a token in a handmade memory game. Faces of loved ones smiling back, glued with care and intention. It's a game, yes, but also a storytelling ritual. a way to preserve moments and connect generations. Again, this isn't about precision. Slightly off-center cuts and bubbled glue only prove that love was part of the making. If you're drawn to this idea, know that you don't need fancy tools. Just time, some printed photos, and a little heart. And finally, parked in the middle of a crayon-strewn mat, sits a colorful truck made from an empty tissue box. It's a tissue dispenser, a toy, a craft project, and somehow all those things at once. The wheels? Bottle caps. The windows? Paper scraps. The playtime? Endless. It may wobble, it may crinkle, but for a child, it's the fastest, brightest ride around. Projects like this aren't about crafting mastery. They're about fun, discovery, and doing something with what you already have. These are not perfect crafts. They are imperfectly perfect moments of togetherness, creativity, and reimagination. Please keep in mind, these examples are here purely to offer ideas that might inspire your own version. Use what you have, follow your child's energy, and allow the process to matter more than the result. Because sometimes, the most beautiful things are born not from store shelves, but from the floor of a messy, joy-filled room. Nine, seasonal and holiday decor. In a quiet kitchen, as dusk gently rests on the countertops, a humble plastic bottle transforms. With tiny holes punched in patterns like constellations, it now glows with life, a flickering candle nestled inside. Light spills from every perforation, scattering golden stars across the table where 2 bowls of dates wait in stillness. This is not just decor, it is memory illuminated. Something as ordinary as a used bottle now holds the power to cradle warmth during sacred evenings. Of course, this is just an idea, simple and sincere, meant to inspire your own cozy version, should you wish to try. Further into the living room, we meet another story stitched from cardboard and celebration. An imperfect banner swings across the wall, made from torn-up boxes and big, bold letters spelled slightly out of line. No symmetry, no polish, just joy. The kind that lives in cluttered sofas and scotch-taped edges. These letters may have been cut with kid scissors or laughter, but they hang proudly, heralding a new year crafted not by machines, but by heart. Let this moment remind you, beauty doesn't need perfection. It only needs presence. And then there's the wreath. Coiled pages from an old magazine, once filled with sales ads or celebrity gossip, now folded into a festive circle, tied tight with leftover ribbon. At the bottom, 2 pine cones lend their forest wisdom, grounding the whole piece in something timeless. It doesn't shout for attention, but when hung on a wooden door, it whispers warmth. It's handmade holiday magic, spun from what was once overlooked. I'm simply sharing this as gentle inspiration, no pressure, no pretense, just a quiet invitation to create something beautiful from what you already hold. Ten, bathroom and kitchen utilities. In the late golden hush of the afternoon, sunlight drapes itself gently across the wall, and there, modestly nailed into the plaster, hangs a humble piece of wood reborn. Once a forgotten cutting board, now it holds spoons and ladles, spatulas that clang softly when touched by the breeze from an open window. This is a kitchen that works, lives, and breathes. A kitchen that doesn't chase perfection, but honors utility with soul. Each tool dangles with intention, not from a polished rack, but from screw-in hooks on wood that seen decades of dicing and slicing. It reminds us that functionality doesn't have to be bought new. Sometimes, it only needs to be noticed again. As with all the ideas shown here, this isn't a professional design suggestion, but a simple, achievable reuse you might try in your own space. Elsewhere in the house, by the bathroom sink, sits a jar. Glass, clear, ordinary, but wrapped with strands of natural jute rope. It's now something entirely different. It holds a toothbrush with the same pride as any ceramic cup might, yet feels more grounded. There are tiny water drops on the mirror behind it, and soap left worn beside it. Nothing is posed. This is not decor as performance. It's real life, softened by care. And then, the splash of color. A plastic bottle, saved from the trash, its shape familiar, now transformed with petals in pink and green brushstrokes. Hand-painted flowers bloom across its body, bringing charm to a dish soap dispenser that could have been dull. It stands proudly next to a used sponge, droplets of water clinging to its sides, reflecting the messy, honest rhythm of everyday kitchen life. These are not grand gestures. They're quiet ones. Practical, personal, imperfect, and that's what makes them beautiful. Please know that I'm only here to share inspiring concepts that are truly doable. What you choose to recreate will be shaped by your own hands and your home's own story. So perhaps, before something is thrown away, pause. Turn it in your hand. Ask it what else it might become. Sometimes, the most useful things are simply waiting to be seen differently. If this video meant something to you, please know that subscribing means the world to me. You're not just supporting content. You're supporting a dream that keeps my family going. Thank you, truly. I'd also love to hear from you. What did you enjoy the most? Is there anything I could do better to keep inspiring or simply entertaining you? Your feedback helps this channel grow with heart and purpose. Let me know in the comments. I read every one.